Ani Nindawe Bangadaduk. Hello, my relatives. Thank you all very much for the honor of being here with you today. And really, I get to get an award with Badass Henrietta Mann. I was like, yeah, she makes sense. She's like the super culture keeper. I'm like the person who's like trying to keep all the rice, you know? But really honored to be here with my sister, my relative Henrietta. We also have known each other for many years. But first I just wanted to say that I'm grateful to all of you. You know, because in my work, you know, we are all in the same work. We are trying to keep what the Creator gave us. And in order to do that, you do all kinds of things, you know. You got to remember all of the songs. You got to remember all of the foods. You got to remember all of our ceremonies. You got to keep our culture strong, reaffirm things, bring them back. Thank you for all the work you do in that. You know, I'm really, really grateful to you for that. You know, I don't have a very exciting history. That sounds funny, yeah? I just try to do my best. Let's just put it that way. You know, I was born in East LA. I was in the relocation program, you know? I always thought that Ernie Stevens and we were like in the same hospital at the same time. I think like, you know him from National Indian Gaming Association? And so, you know, I was not raised to, you know, in the same steeped traditions that my sister Henrietta was. But all I knew is that I wanted to become, you know, I wanted to go home. And I wanted to do the best I could for my people. And so I'm someone that was not raised on the reservation. I moved back when I got out of college. And, you know, I don't know if any of you have moved back to your res. It's a little rough sometimes. Kind of rough. It's okay though. You know, but I'm plucky. You know, I do my best. And you look out there, and you say, well, it looks like this is going on that's going good. Let me see how I can help that. You know, or you look out there and say, this is something that really needs some special help, you know? So in the course of my life, from when I moved back in 1981, which is my whole adult life, really, I remember really significantly things changing. I remember, you know, some of my relatives from Mille Lacs will remember this, and also Shannon Martin, my board chair for Honor the Earth. Our drums, we used to have 13 ceremonial drums on my reservation. And when I moved back, there was none. And I remember when the first one came back, and how that helped people who had, you know, a lot of battle scars. And I remember I was at the ceremony. Now we have about 7 of our drums, huh? That's pretty cool, huh? And so I am fully, you know, I'm a beneficiary of that whole, like when you recover something, you get to be whole. I also remember, you know, I'm someone who doesn't have ecological amnesia. Ecological amnesia, that's a term I heard once, which is the idea that, like where you've forgotten that there used to be rice there. Or you forgot that you know, that water, you could drink it, right? We as Indigenous people do not have ecological amnesia. We remember. Our stories tell us that. Our elders tell us that. And we have a genetic memory for all of those things. So I am someone who, I really like sturgeon. They're like 230 million years old. That's pretty cool, huh? They live to be like 150. And they're very yummy. And so I remember, I tell you this story because this is my cultural restoration story. I go see my friends at Rainy River Reserve up in Canada. I went up for ceremonies. And I'm up at ceremonies with my friend Al Hunter. He says, oh, you have to meet my brother. His name is Joe Hunter. He has a large sturgeon hatchery. So I had 4 kids in an Aerostar van. Does this sound like about half of you? And I had gone across the border just into Canada, you know. And we were like, yeah, we want to go see the sturgeon. So we all go see them, and they're like this big, and you can pet them. They're like docile. It's like females, and I'm not really sure how they have sturgeon sex, quite frankly. But they were breeding they were just collecting the eggs, right? So I just am so transfixed on them, you know. And then so his name is Joe Hunter, and they refer to him as the Sturgeon General of Canada. So I'm like, Joe, can I bring some home? You know, because my sturgeon in my community had been annihilated. Dams, you know, overfishing, commercial fishing by really super extractive white fishing industry. You know, they just destroyed them. And what I knew is that, you know, we missed them. We missed them. He said, yeah. He said, you can. He said, come back next week. So I come back the next week with 4 kids in an Aerostar van and 2 bubbly things, bubbly, I don't know, it was like hooked to my car lighter, and 2 Coleman coolers. So I go up and get my sturgeon, you know, to bring them home to the southern part of their territory. I say, Joe, what do I do when I hit customs? He said, just say they're your pets. So I had 5 pet sturgeon. And I brought them, I took them down, and we drove across the border. They didn't ask us. And then I put them in our lake, Round Lake. That's where I live, on Round Lake. I put them in our lake. And then I went and talked to the tribal fisheries biologist. I just hope you understand that sequence, right? As you may have figured in my life, it's like better to ask forgiveness than to ask permission, because you will never get anything done. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's going to take 10 to 15 years for my tribe. So anyway, I go there, and this is Randy Zortman, bless him. He's like this. He said, Winona, do you have any idea how many laws you just violated? Like the international transport of endangered species. He was very concerned. I said, well, Randy, there's the white man's laws and there's the creator's laws. Right? 2 separate things, you know? And I said, you know, these sturgeon belong here. They were obliterated from our ecosystem. This is the same species, and we don't know a border, and the sturgeon don't know a border. Those are Anishinaabe people over there. You know? They need to come home. And so now my tribe has one of the largest sturgeon restoration programs in the region. hundreds of thousands of sturgeon in our lakes, you know, hundreds of thousands of sturgeon. And when my first grandson was born, do you know what clan he was? He was sturgeon. And I took him down, I said, here's your relatives, you know. But to me, like that, you know, that's really the story. Because our clan didn't have its relatives. And there was something that was so sad about that loss, right? And I haven't been, well, I did catch a couple in my nets and ate them because they were not making it. They were super yummy. I net fish. I don't like this. I net. I'm practical. But in a few years, you know, they take 17 years to become sexually mature. I mean, that's like a long span. So what this teaches me, and you know, I'm sure you are all in the same canoe in some ways, is like when you look at history or when you look at like an animal like a sturgeon, you get some perspective, you know? And the brutality that we look out there, we all live it, you know, we see it. You get some perspective, you know, on the tenacity of our people, on the tenacity and the fact that our sturgeon could come back, right? And then, you know, you learn from that, and you muster up your courage. So when the Enbridge Corporation announced it wanted to put a new pipeline through our territory, I was like thinking, we didn't bring back the sturgeon so you guys could throw some oil across it, you know? So we've been in a pitched battle, and you know, where I live in northern Minnesota on the White Earth Reservation, we you know, we're in this pretty big battle right now to stop this big pipeline. And we won one last year. I don't know if any of you know that, but it was called the Sandpiper. We defeated a big pipeline last year. And they came back with another. And but what I see is the same thing that probably a lot of you see. For the first 4-year battle, there was people out there, but I was out there. I went to every damn hearing. And now, those hearings are packed with people that look like us, you know? And I just sit on the side and go like that, huh? Because that is also what you help us do, is in keeping our traditions and our culture. You help us remind and find our courage so that we can stand up and be present when the rest of our relatives are counting on us. So I just want to thank you again very much for the honor of being here with you. Thank you for the honor of being here with my sister Henrietta. And wish you all the best in your work. And be assured that I will show up at your museums and dig around like I did at Jim's. At the Newberry and over at Shannon's. I'll head over there here. But miigwech. Thank you.